Welcome, everybody. My name is Jason Dries. We're going to get started. This is my training on my 4-step framework to rise from divorce. Open that chat box for me. Let's make this interactive. This transmission today is for you if, number one, you're thinking about divorce. You'll also get value out of this, too, if you are separated. Number three, if you are in a divorce negotiation, this will help. And if you are also divorced, this will also help you. So type in the chat, how are you doing right now, 0 to 4? This is not the most exciting topic, in fact. Talking divorce is actually new to me. I'm a professional mindset coach, professional life and business coach. I've been coaching since 2013. I started coaching for Tony Robbins in 2013, got a knack for coaching entrepreneurs, helping them make money, published a book, and figure out how to just like really unlock people's potential. I went through a pretty gnarly divorce over the past 18 months. And apparently life wants me to talk about divorce. So I'm using my skills and magic tools to help everybody. So type in the chat for me. Number one, if you haven't typed in where you're dialing in from, do me a favor, type in what city you're dialing in from. And number two, type in how are you doing from 0 to 10. And so we can get an understanding of where you're at. Type in, now tell me where you're at so we can see where each other is. Are you thinking about divorce? Are you separated? Are you in divorce negotiation? Are you divorced? Which one are you? My specialty is actually mindset. I'm a master of mindset. So type in the chat for me. Which stage are you, if you're comfortable sharing that? We got Timothy's divorce, Mary's divorce. I've been divorced officially since May. Yeah, Bobby, it's been tough. Cindy recently divorced. Well, let's bring you all back. Are you guys up for some coaching right now? Yes or no? Type yes if you'd like me to give you some coaching. Welcome, Chris. Now, and let me ask you this. How many of these webinars, trainings, lives have you been on before? Some, a lot, none? You've been on some of those before? How many of those webinars have you been on have been life-changing? How many? One? Been on any life-changing webinars? So let's make this one life-changing. So you're here with me right now. You're taking time out of your day, and I appreciate you being here. I'm going to give you as much as I can. But how do you get something great out of the session? What do you think? What is one way to get something great out of the session? What do you think? You could take notes. You could listen. You could participate. You could be interactive, right? You can do all of those things, right? But let me ask you this. Do your expectations shape your result? Yes or no? Do expectations shape your result? What do you think? Yes? Apply it? True. Your expectations absolutely shape your results. And one of the things I like to call what your frame is, when you're in the right frame, which is a point of view, which is also the mindset you're operating from, you will often have the experience that aligns the frame you're operating in. Does that make sense? So let's put ourselves in a frame of getting something great out of this session. Does that sound like a good idea to you? Type yes, that sounds like a good idea. It's a good idea. We're already here. Let's do something good about this. So, one of the tools that I use to help my clients shift their mindset to shift in a higher capacity is speaking the new reality into place. So try this out loud. Repeat after me out loud. I take full ownership of my life and everything in it. I'm going to get something great out of this session. Now, how did that feel? I'm guessing saying that gave you a little bit more clarity, a little more focus. So let's move forward, okay? I'm going to give you my story right here. Share a little bit, little slides here. So this is me, Jason Dries, 51 years old. I'll be 52 next month, father of 4 boys. I met my ex-wife in 2008. The start went great. Was married for 15 years. Moved to Austin, Texas about 5 years ago. Lived in this beautiful house in Austin, Texas with a pool, walking distance to the school. And then last year, things were not going the way I wanted to. We get to May 27, 2024. The words I knew were coming out of her mouth because she hadn't worn her ring in a year. She also hadn't kissed me in a year. She turned her cheek. Intimacy stopped as well. The words I knew were coming came out of her mouth. The words that said, I want a divorce. And keep in mind, I live and work in the personal growth industry. I literally have done intense personal growth for the past 15 years. And it hit me like a truck. My business was challenged because most of my clients historically have been in real estate investing, and this market is not great for real estate investors, so my business revenue was down. Last year, I thought I was losing my life, my family, my business. I was struggling. It was so difficult. We lived together, separated for a handful of months before I could afford to move out. Then we get to October 16th. October 16th was the worst day of my life. I've got 4 boys, 14, 12, 10, and 7. October 16th, I walked my 3 youngest boys to school for the very last time. And then I moved out after I dropped them off at school. And I had to go home that day to this empty apartment after living in this beautiful house, knowing that my boys would be going home to a house without their father in it, without their stuff in it, without his stuff in it, and I wouldn't be there. I felt like an absolute failure. How could I be this successful life coach, business coach, if I couldn't even keep my family together? Have any of you been through anything like that? Does that sound familiar? It was awful. I thought my life was ending. It was tearing me apart. So what did I do? I faced it. I dealt with it. I cried. I cried more in the past year and a half than I've cried in the past 50 years. Have any of you spent a lot of time crying in the past year? What about you men? It's how we process emotion. You got to do it. And it was awful. Suicidal thoughts, all this shit. Can any of you relate? Type in the chat, I relate, if you can relate to that, if you've been through that. And what did I do? I put one foot in front of other foot. My heart goes out to you. Absolutely. Heart goes out to you. And we get to the next part. My story, November 20th, 2025. Today I feel relief. I feel happiness. I feel grateful for the divorce because I realized how little I was accepting. I realized how small I had to make myself to survive in that unhealthy relationship. So now I've got friends. I've got a new direction in my business. I've got more women that want to date me than I can go out with. I'm having fun. My relationship with my boys is better. And what I want to share with you, and the thing about me that's different than most of the other coaches out there, I live through everything I coach. I live through it. I talk business like crazy because I 10x my business in 2020, and I've helped people make lots of money and coach entrepreneurs and things like that. I remove their limits. I help people learn how to do the impossible. That's what I do. And I'm learning how to not only come back from divorce, I'm learning how to not only survive divorce, but I'm talking thrive from divorce. That's what I'm talking about. And today I'm sharing with you the formula. I've been on TV, I'm a published author by a publishing company, personal growth for 15 years. And the thing that I've been studying ever since I first listened to Tony Robbins' Personal Power. Anybody listen to Tony Robbins' Personal Power in 2020, over 20 years ago? I've been chasing this formula on getting rid of that internal emotional block. Does anybody know what that's like? Can you relate to, you're trying to do something big? You're trying to do something powerful, but as you go do that, you feel this invisible kind of shut you down. Does that relate? Can you relate to that? That invisible anchor, that invisible anchor shuts you down, right? Like let me ask you this. What percentage of your full potential are you playing at? Are you playing at 100%, 90%, 80%? What percentage? Type in the chat for me. What percentage do you think you're playing at? Charles Bryce, my heart goes out to you, brother. But you're in the right place. What percentage of your pace? Type in for me. What about you, Judy? Karen, Chris, Bobby? Type in the chat. What percentage of your potential are you playing at? Have you noticed that when you aim at playing at a higher level of your potential, like 80%, 90%, 100%, do you notice that you feel that invisible shutting you down? Do you notice that? That invisible anchor. I've spent the past 20 years on removing that invisible anchor. This book right here, I'm basically saying, do you feel that emotional negative resistance inside you that's preventing you from taking some bold action? I've spent 20 years figuring out how to not only remove that invisible anchor, but how to turn it into a slingshot pulling you in the right direction. And that's what I do. And that's my magic. And today the goal is we're going to move up. And I'm going to help shift your frames today. So let's go back to my story right here. So let's talk about mindset. Is mindset important? Yes or no? How important is mindset? Mindset is very important. Let me give you a story right here about mindset. Okay, so let's say you've got a man who likes to run races. And he runs a mile race every weekend, and he competes in his local charter of races, and he has fun, and he goes and races, and he always finishes in the top 20, like 10 to 20. He never finishes in the top 10, but he doesn't really mind because he loves running so much. One weekend, he's in the locker room getting ready from the race, changing his shoe, putting his running shoes on next to his buddy. And as he puts on his running shoes, the sole falls off his shoe. And as the sole falls off his shoe, he's sad he's not going to race today. His buddy goes, "Hey, what size are your feet?" "Oh, they're size 10 like mine. Here, you can use these." So his friend gives him a pair of shoes. They fit perfectly. He puts them on. He notices that his friend's shoes were red, and he had historically bought blue shoes. So he's, "Oh, that's interesting." And he basically then goes out, runs the race, and guess what? He wins first place. First place. He wins the race. First time ever he runs the race. And his friend is so excited. He says, "You can keep the shoes." And the funny thing is, they were the exact same brand of style of shoes, just a different color. So he wears those red shoes. His friend gives them to him. He says, "There must be my good luck shoes." He says, "Thank you." He goes and races. Next weekend, he wins again. The next 5 races, he wins first place every single race. He gets excited. He qualifies for the finals. He flies after work on Friday into another city, lands at the airport at 10 o'clock night. There's races at 8 a.m. in the morning, and realizes that his bag was not lost. It was completely destroyed into pieces, and his red shoes are gone. So he goes out shopping. And fortunately, the city has shoe stores that are open till midnight. But when he goes to the shoe stores, he finds that this city does not sell red shoes. They only sell blue shoes. So what does he do? He buys the shoes he has, the blue shoes, puts them on, goes to sleep, wakes up the next day, puts his blue shoes on the locker room. He's at the starting block with his blue shoes on. How do you think he's going to feel at the starting block with those blue shoes on? What do you think? Type in the chat for me. How is he feeling right now? Come on, where's the chat at? Chat box. Type in the chat for me. How's he feel? What do you got? Where'd everybody go? Come on. Do you think he feels confident? Do you think he feels Lack of confidence? Wearing blue shoes? Couldn't find any red shoes. Red was what he ran all the races. Do you really think he's feeling confident? I don't think he's feeling confident at all. I think he's feeling doubt, uncertainty, discouraged, anxious, and the only thing we're talking about is the color of shoes. That's how powerful mindset is. Good to see you, Courtney. So let me ask you this. What color shoes are you wearing in your divorce process? Are you wearing blue shoes? Are you wearing red shoes? What do you think? Is it time to put on some red shoes? I think it is. I think it's time to put on some red shoes. So, the thing we want to do right here is this divorce process. We got to get to thriving here, right? So the process is to get to thriving from divorce is we need to, number one, understand the process, understand the situation, choose the target. We need to create the foundation. We need to transform into the version of you that can do it, and then we need to integrate that version into your life. Sound good? And the thing you need to understand that the process of divorce is traumatic. It is a traumatic experience. So it is going to hit you. The question is, how do you react? And I'm curious now. Type in the chat from 0 to 10, how are you doing now? Since we've been talking for 20 minutes, are you at the same level you started with, or have you come up? Because usually, this frame I'm talking from starts possibility, opens up new ideas, new pathways. Because you're capable of more than this. But the thing that you cannot fight, the thing that you cannot change is the 4 phases you must go through to get through this divorce. And those phases are this. I don't need to turn on my fan. So the 4 phases that you have to go through in this divorce is, number 1, the collapse. The collapse is where your life is falling apart. And also, what's really falling apart is your old life, your old identity, the dreams of the future. Then we have the fire, number 2, which is the breakthrough. And the fire is also the painful part, but it's the beautiful part because everything that's not true starts to burn away. There's a beautiful part in step 2 when the truth becomes louder than the pain. When your standard gets raised. And when your standard gets raised and gratitude comes back and you start standing up for yourself in a better way than ever before, you reach number 3, which is the rebirth, the new identity, because divorce is a death process. Then you get to 4, where you're embodied and integrated. Which of those phases are you in? Are you in the collapse? Are you in the fire? Type in the chat for me. Are you in rebirth? Are you in embodiment and integration? What phase are you in? The thing is, the thing that's challenging in this process is that the collapse and fire is an identity death. The old version of you is dying. And when the old version of you dies, and like Chris is saying, I shuffle between the phases. That's absolutely true. You actually cycle through the phases. You'll go through them multiple times. You go through the identity death. And what ends up happening is after you go through that identity death, you go into this blank space. Is anybody in that blank space right now? Is anybody in that darkness? And the thing is, you have to be cautious when you're in that darkness, in that blank space. Because basically you are in the gap before the new identity starts to show up. And the instinct is to hold on to what worked before. So we can actually start going back and trying to cling on to that old identity, claiming for scraps or whatever. But that only slows the process. You want to put your one foot in front of the other, move forward 1 step every day, and eventually you'll come out the other side. And when you get through the rebirth, that's where the life you've dreamed of starts to show up. And this entire process isn't to punish you. This process is to sharpen you, to forge you, because you are destined to be more than this. And the question I have for you is, how are you going to come out the other side? Because going through this process of divorce is the same thing as walking down this hallway. So you're walking down this hallway. You're at the beginning of this hallway. Divorce is the end of the hallway. You're going to get to that end of that hallway because it's going to happen to you. That's the process of divorce. The question is, are you going to be walking at the other end of that? Are you going to be dragged behind a car? Are you going to be bloodied on the other side? Are you going to be riding a magic carpet from this side to the other? Are you going to be stronger on the other side? Which one are you going to be? Because you're going down that hallway. So the frame you operate from is the reality you will start shaping. Now, I understand you may be in the fire right now, or you may be in the collapse and you don't know how to do that. That's perfectly normal. But the first step is making a decision. And the decision is, I am going to come out the other side better and stronger. Would you like that? If you'd like that, type that in the chat. I'm going to come out the other side better and stronger. Because if you type it out in the chat, you're starting to speak that new reality into place. Because the obstacles that you have is you got to manage your emotions. You got to deal with losing yourself. You got to deal with stress and leaving with that partner. You got to deal with that pit you're going in. So my challenge to you, yeah, Mary, I'm going to be stronger and better. Awesome charge, Charles. Let's sharpen that even more. Yes. Are you feeling better? Any better from that? I'm guessing you are. Awesome, Karen. I'm coming out the other side too. It doesn't matter if we don't know how. It doesn't matter. We are pointing our flag at a destination that we're going to go find. No more of this divorce taking me down, because if it takes me down, I'm going to get back up. I'm going to do it for myself. How many of you have children? Doesn't matter if your children are young or they're adults. This is the perfect opportunity to show what resilience, capacity, and determination is. Doesn't matter that your parent is getting divorced at whatever age. I can still transform, reinvent myself because I'm coming out stronger and better. And where we want to go and what we're aiming at is this. We want to come out the other side, reclaiming your power, reclaiming your purpose, rising in clarity and confidence, and growing income and wealth. Does that sound good? Type that in the chat. Power, purpose, clarity, wealth. That sounds good, doesn't it? Power, purpose, clarity, and wealth. You know that you're more powerful than this, aren't you? You know that, don't you? You know you are. Absolutely. You are capable way more than this. How do we do this? We create the foundation. And one of the ways we create our foundation, there we go, Courtney. Power, purpose, clarity, wealth, confidence. We are going to commit to hitting the target. So let's speak this target into reality. And this is why I use repeat after me statements. And if you read my book, chapter 13 is all repeat after me statements. And I call them repeat after me statements, not affirmations. Have you ever noticed that affirmations only work when you're saying them out loud? Have you noticed that affirmations don't work when you're not saying them? That's why this language is repeat after me. These are coded statements that shift your reality. So say this out loud. Repeat after me. I take full ownership of my life and everything in it. I am going to find a way to hit my target and thrive from divorce, because I'm not going to stop until I do. How's that feel? Feel that? Feel that power? Feel that? So if you're feeling out of control, if you're feeling in reaction in this process, you want to say out loud, I take full ownership of my life and everything in it. Excellent. So what meaning are you currently giving divorce? Do me a favor and type that in the chat so I can see where you're at. What meaning are you giving this? What's the meaning? Awesome, Karen. Are you giving it the meaning of success, failure? I'm guessing the meaning that you're giving it is the meaning that your mind created subconsciously. The meaning determines the experience, just like the expectation does, just like the frame does. So let's move into a better meaning so we can feel better about this. So what would be a better meaning for this? Could you say, this is the beginning of the next chapter? Could you also give this the meaning of this is going to be the best chapter? You could also say, this is when my life really began. You could say, this is when I gave my life back. What meaning would you like to give that? Type in the chat for me. If you need to take a second to think about it, that's fine. What meaning? Yeah. So let's put this new meaning in place. So you've got the meaning. So let's try this repeat after me. So repeat after me. I take full ownership of my life and everything in it. I am going to find a way to make divorce. Now say the meaning. Because I'm not going to stop until I do. How does that feel? Better? Feel worse? Powerful? Is there a little lag in the chat here? How's everybody doing? Fresh start. Yeah. What if you are more powerful than this? What if this is the way to go? Meant for more? Yeah. What questions do you have so far? I saw Chris had a question. So Chris asks a very, very, very important question. And I'm sure those of you that have been this would probably send some positive thoughts to Chris. What about the grieving process and how long does it take? And is it different to every individual? I'm trying to be strong and I'm still grieving and I don't know what my dreams are. Well, it is a process that will be done when it's done. The number one thing you want to do is face into the storm. You want to head into it. Like I've been divorced 7 months. And to be completely honest with you, 20 minutes today, I broke down and cried because it's a challenging process. So what I'll say is that grief is basically burning through all of the falsehoods and the things that are not true. That's a fire that's burning away. And eventually you get to the bottom. Eventually get to the bottom. By the way, I also do one-on-one coaching besides group programs. So if anybody wants to know about one-on-one coaching, you can shoot me a text. Here's my number. I remembered like the first day I went without crying. I remember when I made it a week without crying. And then I remember, and then I hadn't cried in weeks when I was in my new apartment. And then I heard a song on the radio and the song made me cry. So what did I do? I went home after work. I put it on repeat and I played that song over and over until I stopped crying. because the tears are how we process the emotion. Yeah, the financial part is awesome. When you get connected to the real you, you will start crying too. And us men, we've been conditioned to avoid that self, but lean into that, breathe. That's the way through it. You'd be surprised how many nights I've cried on the couch by myself. Because what ends up happening is this pit, that pit you go into, which I realize rock bottom doesn't only have one basement, it has multiple basements. Have any of you realized that? Each time you go into that pit, you reclaim a piece of yourself that you forgot. And what ends up happening is you get to the other side. I get to the other side, my people-pleasing tendencies are gone. I'm better at setting boundaries. My confidence is higher. My focus is higher. I'm more connected to myself. It is a process. You have to go through it. And this is how it works. But you were on the right track. So, one thing that helps is be around other people or a community or resources that'll help you. And what I wanted to share with you all tonight was a new program I'm launching called Thrive from Divorce Program. Well, Karen, men cry too. We have feelings. So I created this program, the Thrive from Divorce Program, to heal, rebuild, and rise, where we're going to have weekly trainings. We're going to have a Monday alignment call. We're going to have live coaching directly from me so we can start moving faster through this process. Month 1, we're going to work on the foundation. We're going to talk about the new chapter. We're going to talk about managing the collapse. We're going to talk about change, feel, and react. We're going to talk about walking forward with respect. We're going to talk about awakening, reframing. We're going to go into month number 2 and talk about the foundational mindset, the emotional fire, reclaiming your power, rebuilding self-worth. In month number 3, we're going to talk about expansion, financial reset. How do we start making more money? We're going to talk about parenting through the fire, how to show up as a strong parent, how to deal with all these challenges. And you're going to leave with calm under fire, less reactive to your ex. You're going to heal faster. You're going to process your emotions to a deeper level. I know. How many of you are like bracing yourself? Oh my God, he's always trying to sell us stuff. But I got something exciting for you. Stick with me. Stick with me. So the program starts in 2 weeks, December 1st. That program is normally $497 to help move you through this process. How much is my cost for that program? It's free. I am giving this program away for free. What? Giving it away for free? What are you talking about? Yes, I'm giving this away free. This is becoming my new YouTube. This is my new YouTube show. So starting on the first week of December, on Monday, I'm going to have a 20-minute alignment call to set you up for the week. Live streaming on YouTube, absolutely free. Week number 2, or day number Tuesday, we're going to talk about doing the impossible and living your full potential. Thursdays at 12 p.m., we're going to go through these topics of divorce and work through those. Now, this was more of an introductory one, but we're going to do more work through this process. Does that sound exciting to you, to get some support through this process? To have a framework to work through? Have a place to land? And for coaching right now does not accept medical insurance. And what I also have for you is a gift right now. The gift I have for you right now is a free 30-minute mapping session. So if you're feeling lost right now and you need some help, well, number 1, subscribe to my channel. Well, the best thing about YouTube, if you can't make it at noon, the replay is always there. And if you're interested in getting some guidance, you can book in a call right now with my team. And we walk you through creating a map for the next 90 days. Get you focused, get you clear, get you aligned. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, you can also book that link. We can talk about it there. But I'm delivering this program completely free. Why? Because I'm growing my YouTube channel. I'm growing my following there, my audience. And I want to support everybody and give back like they gave to me. This is actually my first live stream on YouTube. So if it seems a little clunky, that's why. Tell me how you feeling now, 0 to 10. Feeling any better? So I got a question for you. You going to thrive from divorce? You going to survive divorce? Is divorce going to kick your ass? You're going to kick divorce's butt. Look at that. Because if you hang around me, I have this, oh, thunder and lightning. I am a growth machine. Things that are not true cannot survive in my presence. So if you want to grow, if you're feeling better right now on this call, it's because you spent 35, 40 minutes with me. Right now, I'm giving you 3 calls a week, access to me for free. I am also going to be doing a Wednesday call. I'm not sure if that's launching in December or January, where you get coaching directly from me on this call. My goal is to help. Divorce is just way too costly. I have figured out some ways to help people radical transform. So number 1, subscribe to my channel, like my channel, make sure you turn on notifications on your phone. So when I go live, you get them. And if you're on here from the webinar, you're already on my system, you'll be getting texts from me. If you have any questions, you can shoot them my way. Anything I can answer for you tonight? I hope you have a wonderful evening. My heart goes out to you, compassion for you. I know this is challenging, and at the same time, I know that you can go through this, and I know you're capable of more. Thank you for joining me tonight. Have an amazing day. There's a question. I had a pretty big breakthrough about loneliness this week. Would you like me to share it? Anyone dealing with loneliness right now? Here's the truth about loneliness. Because I had a pretty big breakdown a few days ago. I had been lying to myself about how healed I was in this process. I was in denial a little bit. And here's what I journaled about loneliness. I wrote down, this was a journal entry. You may want to copy this one. It says, loneliness is just you avoiding the work that life is giving you the space to do. Did you hear that? Loneliness is avoiding the work that life is giving you the space to do. If you have loneliness right now, life is giving you the space that you need to integrate and heal and process and move to the next level. And the key on what do you need to do? How do you do that? You've got to head into the storm. You've got to lean into those feelings. That's why this program is so powerful, is I'm going to help guide you through that process. But I can't do anything until you get in the game. I can't do anything until you're on the field playing the game. So, any other questions? I know there's one more question lurking out there. Here for you. All right. See you Monday. Yes. That's exactly it. Loneliness is avoiding the work that life is giving you the space to do. You can do this. You can heal. If you got more questions, shoot me a text. Comment on this video. I've got more videos on this channel. Be sure to subscribe. See you next week, everybody. You can also check out my book, Amazon Audible. Appreciate all of you. Hearts going out to you. You can do this. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.